This morning, a lot of people are talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. Also, a lot of buzz about it leading up to the big game, since this was the first ever halftime performance with rap at the center of the show. So we're looking into the significance of hip hop and its relationship to sports, specifically football here.
News 8 multicultural reporter Katira Winfrey is kind enough to be here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Dr. Dre made it pretty clear in the lead up to this, as late as the news conference, saying, and I think this is the quote, the NFL understands that this is what should have been done a long time ago. That was his goal. If you know the lines of a lot of these songs, there are social justice lyrics in them, even if they're not songs that are overtly about it. There was no avoiding what some of the intent was here. Do you think that the mission was accomplished?
I definitely think it was. I mean, this is something that we've talked about extensively, of just how the NFL is dominated by black players, but when it comes to the Super Bowl, that representation of the popular types of music that many of them listen to is always done as a feature performance. And with all of the conversation about social justice that a lot of people have been trying to steer away from, this kind of puts it right back in your face. You know, a couple of years ago, there was this whole almost a boycott where black artists were like, we're not going to perform at the Super Bowl until we see some equity in the Super Bowl. So for them to go this big at the Super Bowl and have all these legends, if you will, in the hip hop world come and do it, it definitely, in my eyes, gave people a view into what they wanted, and also just continuing that conversation, and shows that there is hope that we're going to see a shift when it comes to NFL and maybe the support of pushing for things like social justice and things of that nature.
Has us having this conversation already this morning, so it's kind of having that impact. Another part of this, and a first for the halftime show, was two performers are deaf and they were using American Sign Language to perform the songs. Do you think this is a greater move towards diversity, not only for talent, but then also the fans?
Absolutely, because you see so often on social media where stories will go viral because you saw how the interpreter was really getting down with the music and all that. And so a lot of the time, people leave people who have hearing impairments or who are deaf out of the conversation, but they can feel that beat. They feel that. And so I think as we continue on, we're going to see more and more of this. Even in the last year, just looking at even the presidential addresses and different things like that with COVID, we see people are taking a specific effort to bring in interpreters so people of all ability hearing levels can be included in the conversation, and in this case, included in the performances.
Answer this as a fan, answer this as an observer of social issues, whatever. Is there an iconic moment or two that stands out to you? Like, when I think about this show in a week, in a year, in a decade, this is what I'll think of.
I just think just the lineup having, look, Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg, everybody knows Snoop, and even considering his background as a so-called gangster rapper, then you have people like Mary J, who, that's who I was looking for. You got Kendrick Lamar here with an ode to what looks like Meteor Man. All those 90 kids know what I'm talking about. With the Golden
70s kids do too, okay? I'm just telling you.
The Golden Lords. Then you have Eminem here, so-called, a lot of people saying he took a knee during the performance. Not sure exactly if that was his goal, you know, with taking a knee.
That may have been about Tupac.
Possibly, but you know, I just think the whole thing was iconic in itself, to have that many powerhouse superstars on stage at one time, during a time we're having a conversation about the value of black performances and black you know, players. I think it just is a sign of equity across the board.
Definitely. Really quick before we go, best halftime show yet?
I don't want to get dragged. So I won't say it's the best. It was my most loved performance, but we've had some good performances over the years. As a millennial, I like to say, I definitely had some nostalgic moments. So my favorite, but can I say it's hands down the best? I don't want to get dragged.
Very diplomatic.
I was thinking the
Very
same
diplomatic.
thing. Very diplomatic.
Katira Winfrey, thanks for your perspective this morning.
Yes.
Sure appreciate it. 9 to